Hi guys, welcome back to the garden. Another beautiful Sunday morning, and I'm inviting you along with me to take a stroll through the garden this morning. It is not raining, not a cloud, and stop it. Well, that's not true. They're clouds, but not a rain cloud in sight, right? We are a little cloudy overhead, but that is good because that's going to help to keep the sun away for a bit so that we can just take a look at the garden to see what has changed and what has not. All right. I hope you are all doing really well this morning. It's a beautiful day, and I'm so tickled and so happy that I'm able to spend my mornings with you. All right, so we're starting the walk this morning on an odd side of the garden. I'm actually coming across the patio, passing one of our unknown roses here. Never mind all of the work in progress that you see. My garden for me is always a work in progress. There's always something where it's not supposed to be. Stop it. All right. But hey, keeping it real with you. Right? I garden solo, and I don't get to spend as much time in the garden as I would like to. So there are always a lot of things that need to be done or that are in the process of getting done. Alright guys, started the morning with us looking at this beautiful rose. This is Elizabeth from David Austin Roses. And Elizabeth is just absolutely spectacular. This rose was covered in blooms. I spent about 30 minutes deadheading because I was embarrassed. I couldn't show you her the way she was because she bloomed so beautifully. She was so covered from top to bottom, right? She did a really great job for us this spring. Right? I do notice that her blooms are a little bit smaller than they should be, right? And I'm thinking that's probably because I did not cut her back as much as I should have. Right? Do you know the old saying, the lower you prune, the fewer the blooms, but the bigger they are. The less you prune, the more the blooms, but the smaller they are. So I think we're kind of on that latter with Elizabeth. But she is gorgeous. She is a gorgeous rose, people. Beautiful fragrance, beautiful blooms, awesome disease resistance, the trifecta of roses. If you are new to growing roses and you want to try somebody that's not going to give you too much trouble, I think she'll be a nice one for a new gardener. What do you think? I'm a new gardener and I love her. Stop it. All right, let's take a look at the rose walk since we are here. Do you guys remember Crown Princess Margarita? She was covered in blooms a few weeks ago. Finally got her deadheaded, and I've been doing some cut back on this one. We had to cut her back because, as you remember, we had a serious windstorm that damaged a lot of her canes. Do you know what they always tell you when you're getting into climbers? They say never cut the main cane, people. I cut every main cane that this lady has, right? One, because I had to, and two, because I had to, right? A lot of her canes were down, and so I did the cutback as needed. What we'll do from here is I'll go ahead and see if I can tie her back in, right? Give her a good feed, and hopefully she is going to have another flush of roses for us later on in the season. She's already started to push out some new growth. Come here. Do you see that? Yeah, so it'll be fine. She'll be fine. Yeah, we're always so worried about her roses. Our roses are pretty hardy little things, you know. Their blooms are fleeting, as I'd always say, but the rose themselves, child, it takes a good little lot of mistake to kill a rose, right? And I've tried. Stop it, stop it, stop it. I have not. I'm sorry. I have done some things so that were quite questionable. That was Rodal. Rodal got an earlier cutback this season as well because those canes from Crown Princess Margaret were on him, and so we just did a whole cleanup in order to get this right. You're seeing a missing bed right here. That's where we had to remove an endless summer hydrangea, and I've decided I'm going to replace it. So we're going to go shopping together and see if we can find one to pop back in this bed. All right, the rose walk is looking like the rose walk normally does, which is a beautiful, stop it. All right, the rose walk is looking good this morning. Hydrangeas are healthy and starting to fill in. Look at this, endless summer crush, starting to bud up, starting to give us a few blooms. All right, the one right here that we were working on to get this one. I don't know if you remember, this is the one that really was suffering from chlorosis. Guess what finally worked for me, or for her, or for us? I'm going to pronounce the word incorrectly. Malagnolite. I don't know. I'll put the name on the screen. But it is a fertilizer that's been around for decades. It has a bit of nitrogen, but what it does have is iron. Put that around her root ball, watered her in, and look at my baby. Look at my baby, people. She's looking kind of good now. Stop it. She's looking a whole lot better. All right, taking you up to Gertrude Jekyll. Gertrude Jekyll is winding down. This is the end of Gertrude's first flush of roses. She has been deadheaded. She did really well this season. I have absolutely no complaints. She was a pleasure in the space. She was fragrant. She was soothing to look at. Right, an absolutely beautiful rose, ready to be fed so that she can start growing and pushing up that new growth for us, so that hopefully we will be able to get some late season blooms. All right, moving on, another Bobo hydrangea. But this hydrangea right here in bloom deserves our time. This baby deserves some attention. What? Look at this hydrangea, people. Stop it. I had too much coffee this morning. I did not. It's this little lady that just got me excited. Look at this. This is the Bloomstruck hydrangea. Sorry, you're seeing my shadow. And this Bloomstruck was wow. Wow. All right, her name describes it all, and it's just wow. Look at her, loaded with blooms from top to bottom. Now, my first experience with mophead hydrangeas were the endless summer crush hydrangeas. And you know my experience with that one, right? I had to wait for 3 years before I saw that summer crush bloom. And she hasn't rebloomed for me yet, right? Last year was her first bloom. She bloomed once for the season, didn't get a rebloom. I just repeated that, but all right. But this one, people, this Bloomstruck hydrangea, got her in a container late last year, had her sit there on the patio. She bloomed, and then she bloomed some more. And late in the season, I kid you not, November, I'm coming out, this little thing is pushing out more blooms. I'm like, stop it, what you doing? So I had to put her in the ground, and she has not disappointed me. Look at this. She's blooming again. This is beautiful. I think, look at this, I think she might need some iron too. So I'll go ahead and give her a feed. But she's beautiful. Look at all of those blooms covered. I can't wait for her to get bigger. Can't wait. I like this one. I'm going to add her to a different spot in the garden so that we can see what she does. But she is nice. She is. Why did it take me so? What? This is nice. All right. I hear a sound. The alliums beside her on either side are the Serendipity alliums. These alliums are the only alliums in the bed, and I'm actually going to take them out because I think the hydrangeas are going to benefit from the space. Right? I don't know if we're going to do that now. It's about to bloom. You see they're starting their little flower heads. If I find a space for them now, I will. If not, we'll just let them go through the season, and then we'll take them out next year. But one thing I should point out, do you remember that we divided these alliums? We took a cut in half from both so that we could put some on the Rose Island. And look, you'd never tell, right? You would never know we did something to it. All right. The poet's wife is still the poet's wife. A few blooms left, looking all good. Getting ready to send up new growth, or actually is sending up new growth so that she'll be able to keep the blooms going. Right? Enjoying the space. A beautiful rose, no complaints. All right, let's pan you across the Rose Island. You are looking at Bring Me Sunshine, always beautiful in his yellow glory. Splendid little rose. All right, the Sophie's rose is quiet, one bloom. She has been deadheaded. Or Shasta daisies are going to do what Shasta daisies do, which is going to be bloom, 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 and bloom. This is good because this is going to help to carry us into the warmer summer months. And we should keep some energy in this bed once the roses go on their semi-nap here for the summer. Hyde Hall still has us waiting. All right, and we are doing so patiently. Ooh, I wonder if Hyde Hall has a, hold on. You know, I don't know if Hyde Hall has a fragrance. What do you guys think? You think he has a fragrance? There's one bloom opened here. Give me a second, let me check. Stop it, Hyde Hall doesn't have a fragrance for me. I didn't smell anything. I don't know if maybe he has one and I just haven't picked up on it. Maybe it is too early in the morning. All right, now remember, this is my unfinished bed. Still unfinished because we're trying to figure out what we want to do in terms of completing that edge. I'm trying to figure out if I'm going with an invisible edging or if I'm just going, or if we're going to go with a sort of a hard edge like we normally do for most of the beds. So you're still seeing a lot of that sheet mulching and incomplete mulching happening. For that, I do apologize. See past the work in progress and just see it as progress to come, right? Okay, this is a James L. Austin. James L. Austin is looking like a James does. James is a cute little rose. Let me come around the other side. I totally just depetaled that flower. It was a faded flower. But here we are on the other side of James. James is looking good. This is his first spring in the ground. Gave us beautiful blooms last week. Remember when I showed you him last week? I was like, oh no, we missed his first flush. This rose is still going. Still going, guys. I need to deadhead, look. I need to deadhead last week's blooms. Whew, I've had a difficult time keeping up with the garden this season, right? So do bear with me. I do apologize for everything that you see that is incomplete. This is a new planting that we did, and I'm going to stay right here because I want you to look at it and see if what happens to me happens to you. Do you see the color that jumps out at you? Yeah, it's not the white, it's that blue. That's a lobelia. I think it's a lobelia, right? I'm embarrassing myself by pronouncing it incorrectly, but it's a beautiful plant. Love it. I want a whole container of just that. Just that. I'm not very good at intermingling plants. It's not something that I do well. I tend to like my containers with just one variety and let that container roll and that variety pop. That is one of the things that I think if I could find it, enough pieces of it, I would plant it just full in a container, just filled with just that one thing. Right, we passed by Bosco Bell here. Bosco Bell's winding down. All the roses I'm showing you today are winding down from their first flush of roses. Here's a pretty bloom here. I have not gotten my Bosco Bell to look like a Bosco Bell. But what I do have is a beautiful fragrance that Bosco Bell has. Beautifully, beautifully fragrant rose. Awesome fragrance. Okay, this is a little planting that got damaged earlier this year. Do you remember we planted, and I've shown you one further up in the garden. This is a Rhythmic Blue Hydrangea. This one was damaged earlier this season, and we cut it back. And luckily, happily, right, she's actually growing. Can you see that? And you know what this little baby's trying to do? You know that she's trying to put on buds with her little self. Not an inch from the ground, and she's trying to flower. But I'm glad that she's able to push up some growth, and I'm hoping that she becomes a sizable plant by the end of the season. All right. Very sorry that we damaged her, but I'm happy that she is pushing back up for us. Okay, looking at something that's going to take us through the summer. If you know me, you know me, you know me, right? My black and diamond crepe myrtle. Stop it! The love of my life, the jewel of my garden, are the black diamond crepe myrtles. I love these guys to bits. Hope my finger isn't blocking the lens, which it's not, which is good. All right, love them to bits. Joy of my garden. All right, love the foliage color. They take over once the heat of summer hits, most of the DA roses go to sleep. They go dormant-ish, and then the black diamonds just come up with their beautiful foliage and that nice red bloom, and they're perfect in the space. Okay. We were just looking back there as I spoke to you. I was just looking back at Bosco Bell and just willing her to grow in and to fill in that space for me, because I would like to have that big overflow of Bosco Bell in that bed. All right, moving on. Lady of Shalott. Lady of Shalott cleans herself nicely. Definitely ready for to be, what's that word, deadheaded. In her case, it's going to have to be a cutback, right? Because she's already too tall for me. Look at all the spent blooms, already pushing up new growth. But I don't want her to go into my summer months this high, so she's going to get a sort of a trim back on the top, and I'm going to see how she blooms after having been treated that way. It will be my first time doing that, so we're going to do like a semi sort of prune, a shape up of the plant, and it will be interesting to see if she rebounds and how she rebounds from it and what sort of blooms she gives us. Ooh, there's a wasp. I'm trying to show you one of her flowers here on top. Oh, isn't she cute? She is a beautiful. All right, let me take you over to Salas Marner. Come on. As we do, we're passing by the Rhythmic Blue Hydrangea. This hydrangea head is huge, you know. Guys, this plant isn't standing more than a foot off the ground. Let me go back so you can see how low to the ground this thing is. And look at the size of this head. And I'm thinking as she gets older, this is only going to get better. What do you think? Look at that. Oh my gosh. I like her. I wish I could get my hydrangeas to bloom blue, but I'm more in that alkaline soil, so I always get pink. I have started adding the aluminum sulfate. I have started adding that. They said once in the spring, once in the fall, and eventually you will get that deeper color coming on in. But boy, can you imagine if she were blue right here? That would have been something else. That would have been nice. Right, another planting of black diamond crepe myrtles. And look, this is the one that was covered by Teas in Georgia, starting to darken up. I don't think I posted that video yet. Boy, I felt so bad. Teas in Georgia was in this bed, guys. This is where Teas in Georgia sat maybe a week ago. We just removed her. I will post that video for you maybe tomorrow or Wednesday. It took some will. It took some closing eyes and some serious will to remove her from the space. But I had to think ahead to the health of the rose, plus the health of my black diamond crepe myrtles. Okay? All right, moving on up to Salas Marner. Salas Marner has started to finally color up for this season. We saw a lot of blooms from her earlier, but we were not getting the color. She was looking like really pale. And if you look now, you see that beautiful pink tone that she's supposed to have. There you go. Starting to have that beautiful pink tone that we expect from this rose. This rose bloomed beautifully, always covered in blooms. They are smaller than they should be, and I'm thinking again it goes to how I pruned her. I did not prune her back far enough, and I can see that now as I'm looking at some of the stems, some of her stems. Like this one right here. Look, she's all the way up here. So that means I didn't prune this one back any at all. For her to be that tall, her new growth started right here. So that's not good. So this is where she is though. This is what she's looking like. A beautiful rose, beautiful fragrance, something that should be enjoyed. All right, a rose that I definitely enjoy in the garden. Gorgeous, right? Stop it. All right, let's move on now. Let's move on to that red rose. Are you seeing it, people? I know you're seeing it, people. That is Florentina. You hear the excitement in my voice this morning? I'm a little late in getting the video done. I tried to do it earlier and it just didn't work out right. So this is actually my second walkthrough with you. Okay? And any excuse to take a second walk through the garden is an awesome excuse, can I tell you? But let's go over here. Ouch, because I don't want you to miss this one. My camera never does the roses justice in terms of their color. Something's biting me on my shoulder. But look, look, look. Stop it. Who is this? Look at this. This is Florentina. These are the same blooms that you looked at last week. So these blooms are about 8 days old right now. Look at it. What? Oh my gosh, that's beautiful. Looky here. I can't believe that I have this rose in my garden. Look, we've got some canes down on the ground. I need to come and support her, tie her in, and get those blooms off the ground. And then look at all of the buds, guys. Look at all of those buds. Stop it. Come over here. Look, look. What? Yep. She is growing beautifully. Beautifully, beautifully, beautifully. The only thing I've not picked up on is a fragrance. Alright? But the beauty, oh my gosh, for her beauty. Oh, look at her again. I don't mind. She is gorgeous. Gorgeous. I have a thing for red roses. I love red roses. Red is my color. Alright, I'm going to turn you around and show you something here. Not everything goes well in a garden, right? And the awesome thing is, when you're behind the camera, you can show only what you want to. Sometimes. If you're like me, the not so cool things pop up a lot. But we're in the bed with Eustacia Vi. Right? You saw Eustacia Vi in bloom earlier this season. There are actually 3 Eustacias planted in this bed. This one at the front has been cut back, and this is the one that you saw in bloom. The other 2 this season would not grow this spring, and I was really tempted to take them out of the ground, but I kept remembering something when I just started the garden. And I remember I posted one of my first videos, and someone said to me that for the own root roses, right, they can come up later in the season, even if they're damaged all on top. So just let them be and wait and see if the rose will come back. And look what Eustacia did. Look at that. She's coming back. She is coming back. That is awesome. I was so worried and I really wanted to cry. And so, I kid you not, I wanted to cry. This is a gorgeous rose. Beautiful fragrance. But look, here she is coming back. So fingers crossed that it's going to be a healthy, sturdy comeback, and that we'll have a beautiful, healthy rose for me to show you at the end of the season. Yeah. Alright, here we are, guys. Look at this. Twilight Zone. Stop it. This is a Twilight Zone that the bunnies or whoever, bunnies, squirrels, there's something came and debudded my baby. And my baby rewarded us with more buds and the most beautiful flowers. Look at this. Oh my gosh. Tell me that's not beautiful. She's filling into the space now, which is awesome. Let me hold on. Ooh, baby, you smell good. Look at her. Almost purple-like in color. This is just beautiful. Look at this one right here. Wow. And just take a look at her from above. Ooh, she is starting to fill out and to fill in. Oh my goodness, and she is absolutely beautiful. Look at the buds again. One more time. I do see black spot. Right, so we have to take off those leaves and give her a spray with some neem. But look at my baby. That is beautiful right there. Beautiful. Ooh, look at this section of the garden, guys. Do you remember last year we transplanted, we divided and transplanted some, what are these, Coreopsis right here around the containers of the little giant arborvitae? Look at how it has grown in. Let me pull back so you can see it from this side so you don't see little bits of the container. But look at that. Isn't that cute? I love it. It's like the cloud of Coreopsis with a scoop of little, what's that little giant arborvitae on top. Tell me that's not cute. I like that. And so this one's grown in well. A couple of the others are still working on filling in. But if this is what I'm going to be looking at here next season, I think I like it. Right? What do you think? I think I like it. All right, Charles Darwin is winding down as well. And as the David Austin roses are winding down, or hybrid tea roses are starting to wake up to steal the show. This little lady is Enchanted Peace. Now, I will admit that with Enchanted Peace, I sighted her in the wrong spot. This rose is so big, so vigorous, so beautifully beautiful that she blocks whatever is on the opposite side of her. Okay. Look at that. She grows so tall. Look at this one. Look at that king. She's standing up all the way out there. Look at that. Oh, we just reached the top. What? She's really way too tall for where I have sighted her, because all of the other roses on the outside of this run are all short growers. So let me see if I can show it to you. Come back with me. Let me show you. Let's start the run together. All right. So the run starts right here, the edge of the fence, right? And sorry about the glare. As you run through, let's take a look. You see your arborvitaes, you run into Gabriel Oak, we keep going, and then bam, we run right into Enchanted Peace. And then we have no idea what's on the opposite side of her. And remember, we just passed over Charles and Twilight Zone, right? There they are. And we have a bolero rose in that first bed that we just planted bare roots. So saying that to say, when you hit Enchanted Peace on either side of her, you cannot see what's on the opposite side. And so that's why I said I sighted her wrong. I should have put maybe a smaller growing rose here that would be balanced on this planting on the outside. Right? What do you think? Hindsight now, looking back, should have been perfect for the back of the border. She just really filled that space. But absolutely beautiful, disease resistant, and guess what? The bunnies don't like her. I don't know why. They do not nibble on Enchanted Peace. Alright guys, and so this is what the garden is looking like right here at the first day of June. Roses are winding down. Look at septed owls. Woo! Let me take you in close so you can see how many blooms she had given us. We have to really deadhead this one. Wow. They gave us a beautiful flush. It was a beautiful spring flush of roses. I enjoyed it, and I really enjoyed that I was able to share it with you and that you guys came along for the strolls. That was really awesome, right? Look at the dapple willow. Wow, now a beast of a dapple willow that needs to be pruned. So we'll definitely be pruning this one back. If we don't, she's going to be way too big by the end of the season. Way too big. I don't even know if I can make it around her to prune her. She's ginormously beautiful, isn't she? Wow, loving it. But all right, look, another season, another spring we've had the chance to spend together in the garden, and it has been extremely awesome. I'm so happy that you guys took the time to join me for these garden strolls. I hope that you find them informative, if not relaxing, a little bit of fun, right? Stop it. A little bit of fun thrown in is always good. All right, and I'll end it here and say thank you so much. Thank you guys for having joined me for yet another beautiful day in the garden. As always, whoops, hold on. Do you know, I realize I've been posting my videos on Sunday, right? Guess what I haven't been doing? I have been saying happy Monday. Happy Monday, guys. Have an awesome Monday and a great week. And I will see you all in the next video. Thanks for watching.